Conspirastream. I'm Shane Wagner. Today we're going to be talking about bees. Where are the bees? Are the bees an alien species? Who is Bumblebee Man? Once the bees are gone completely, where are we going to get our honey? Is Big Pharma taking our bees? Have the wasps already taken over? Are chemtrails to blame? Is it the fluoride in our water? Is it Monsanto and their plants? Are the reptilians weak to bees? How many bee representatives are there in the Illuminati? What about the Trilluminati? And is dubstep to blame for the bees' disappearance? All these questions and more will be answered on tonight's Conspirastream. We're going to be playing Borderlands 2 because that game does start with a bee. Don't know if you knew that. Let's continue in the Iridium Blight. I haven't played this game in a while, but I do know it's spooky. So, some likely causes of the bee disappearance, which is a scary thing, are cell phones, big pharma, chemtrails, fluoride in the water. One that I thought of myself, and I think it's a pretty good thing to be. One second. Okay, this should be better. For the sound, I'm sorry, I'm not a sound wizard. I have my specialty in science, specifically science of the mind, science of conspiracy. What is conspiracy? It's all around you. Look. Look for a second, you fucking idiot. The game volume, more than anything. Turn that down. Or turn it up. I don't care. Science is what we make it. If we make it good, it good. I'm not going to turn the game volume up because the game is not important. What's important is what I'm projecting right now. USA, USA all the way. Who cares? Who cares about this country anyway, man? Because you know what? We aren't the ones in charge here. It is the bees. The bees are the ones in charge here. Because it's the bees in the first place who settled this land in the 1600s. The Yeti, Loch Ness, Noah's Bark. What does that mean? Evan, could mean anything. So, what I think is that the CIA went into the beehives, every beehive individually, and did an anti-queen coup d'etat on the hive as a whole to eliminate the bee population. So the bees wouldn't have a queen, so they wouldn't be able to fend for themselves, kind of thing, kind of cut the snake's head off. Now, one thing that I am very interested in is the implications of chemtrails. Now, I have a friend of mine. He is a political scientist, political bee scientist, actually. His name is Jerry B. Buslon, and he has a lot to say about the bees. So I'm just going to call him up. Excuse me, is this Jerry?
Yeah, you're talking to Jerry.
All right. Well, this is Shane Wagner from the Conspirastream. I think I emailed you about this.
Yeah, I got your email, kid.
Okay, so right now we're going to talk about, we're just getting into the chemtrails section of it all. So I want to talk about how chemtrails are affecting the bee population. So I know you're an expert on chemtrails, specifically bee-related chemtrails. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, I'm just gonna. There's a lot you don't know, and there's a lot you're not supposed to know, and there's a lot I'm not supposed to know, but I know it because I know it. And well, it all started back in 1986 when Richard Nixon said he was tired of the bees and he was tired of all these people and their bee collections. And so Richard Nixon he threw some ideas around, and he had a map. He had a map of the United States, and at that time, the story goes that his son was playing around in the same room, in the White House in the basement, and so he had this map, and his son was playing around with a little toy fighter jet. And Richard Nixon, he was looking down at this map, and he was like, "Oh, all these ignorant, stupid people. How can I just control them and put it into the bees at the same time?" And so his son was playing around with his little fighter jet, and he threw it to do a kamikaze, and it landed on the map. And that's when Richard Nixon he had this epiphany, and he was like, "What if I?" And he took his hand, and he took the fighter jet in his hand, and he just kind of like flew it around the map, and he was making like the little plane noises at the same time. He was like, but as he was doing that, he was moving the jet around, and he was like, "That's it. I can produce chemical pollutants in the air over American eyes, and they will see them, but they will just think. They'll think, right? Because they're fucking stupid. They're gonna think that these are just little, happy vapor trails coming off the end of these fucking fighter jets, man. But really, they're chemtrails, man. You got hexahypochloride, a decocadrone hydroxide.
Chemtrine, vulgadine, and Veltrex.
Exactly. I mean, you know that shit that's in that extend shit. They got that in there too, man. You stand under one of these things, you'll never come again in your life.
Yeah.
But anyways, so he's just like, this shit, it rains down from our atmosphere, from high in the sky, and all these kids are sitting there like, man, that's such a pretty little fucking trail that jet's leaving. Little do they know that's where their fucking asthma and their gluten allergies are coming from, and it's just, I just can't fucking stand it, man.
Yeah. Well, I was under the impression, now hear me out, you kind of have a different story, that the world's first chemtrail was September 12th, 2001. That's when I thought they started to appear.
Well,
the day after you know what.
Yeah. Well, let me just start by saying Richard Nixon, he was an ideas man, but he couldn't really get a ball rolling, if you know what I mean. He would get these ideas, but it would take a man like George Bush, like a real, mass hysteria, motherfucker like that to really get the shit
we
going.
Both know that the first letter of Bush is B.
I fucking...
Does that have anything to do with
people sit and fucking think that's a coincidence, and that's what fucking rots my gut at night, man.
It's disgusting, if you ask me. So, the population and mind control that the chemtrails bring about have the adverse effect on the bees of killing them off, essentially. Now, do you think the chemtrails are making the bees simply go away and die, or do you think they're going back to their home planet?
Well, see, I had a friend. His name was Johnny Waxon. He had this theory in that that the bees actually came from Jupiter's ninth moon, which actually is called Planet of the Bees. That's the actual scientific name. You can look that up on NASA.com.
What?
But so Planet of the Bees, man. It's like back in the 1960s when we were first landing on the moon. It's like the NASA was taking all these photos because we were up on the moon. We actually had a guy on the moon, and so they were like, all right, so what was crazy, or what they didn't tell you about that Apollo mission, was that they weren't just there to land on the moon. No, they wanted to get the first satellite orbiting the moon as well. And at the time, they didn't have the technology to really do that from planet Earth. So they launched the satellite. Neil Armstrong, he launched it, and
He himself?
yeah, he himself, he launched it. He
What?
you know, because gravity, there's no gravity on the moon, so really all
He was
he tossed it
okay,
like
that
a
makes
baseball,
sense because
really.
wasn't he a champion discus thrower in his
Yeah.
high school? Yeah, and he
That's
used those
exactly-
skills.
What, you think it was just a fucking coincidence that Neil Armstrong went up there? Neil Armstrong was a fucking nobody, but goddamn could he throw a fucking frisbee. So
Yeah.
I had Neil Armstrong. I mean, Buzz Aldrin, he was the real astronaut, but man, fuck, I feel sorry for that guy because they had him convinced they were just there to put a man on the moon. But little did they know, Mr. Neil Armstrong was up there to fling a fucking satellite into orbit. And so, anyways, when they got the satellite up there, it was like they started taking pictures of everything, you know, closer than they ever had before. And when they took a picture of that Planet of the Bees moon. They saw some kind of mist, some kind of swarm, and they couldn't explain it. But you know, there's some pretty deep covered up documents that the scientist, his name was Alphonse Bees, actually. And but that's just a coincidence, really. There's no ties there.
Just a coincidence. Hey, really? You think that's a fucking coincidence? Listen to me. You just skimmed over that like it was fat-free milk, all right? You're telling me that his last name is Bees and that's a coincidence?
Listen, man, I'm just here to tell you what I know, what I've written down over my 6.5 years
all right.
researching this
Now,
stuff.
here's another thing. The bee disappearance has been going on just recently. And you know what else started recently?
9/11.
Dubstep.
You know what?
I think
Fucking A, man.
there's a correlation, a direct correlation between Demons on an iPod, aka dubstep, and the bees disappearing.
Well, see, there's a thought about that because, you know, it's just like dubstep. If you think about it, dubstep isn't dubstep. Nobody actually likes the way dubstep sounds. I mean, dubstep it just sounds like a bunch of fucking computers having a fucking orgy.
Yeah,
And,
some fucking Kraftwerk shit. Who cares?
Yep. And there's gotta be a reason everybody's flocking to this shit. Like it's fucking cake at a fat kid convention, and there's just fucking. It's got to be mind control is what I'm trying to get to. If you want to get down to the nitty gritty real fucking fast.
Now, one thing I asked on my little intro is, are the reptilians weak to bees? Because it could be the reptilians driving out the bee population because somebody found out that they can be used as a weapon against the reptilians.
Well, see, I think that's what Richard Nixon initially had in mind. I mean, this reptilian shit, it goes back a long way, all the way to the fucking Jesus times, man. I mean, who do you think the first fucking pope? How do you think that shit got started, anyways? I mean, they were
Of course.
I think it's real fucking deep-rooted devil shit, if you ask me. I mean, they're not just some species, you know, that fucking landed here. They came from somewhere worse than that. And so it's like, so Richard Nixon, he had that in mind, you know, when he was thinking about this fucking bee shit, because he knew the people, and they started doing this homemade honey shit. It became like some kind of fucking hobby, but he knew before long it wasn't just gonna be making fucking honey anymore. They were gonna start weaponizing this shit, and then especially right around the time 9/11 happened, if you think about it, that's when they started, you know, hearing these news reports about these killer bees in Africa. I mean, fucking A, man. You think that's a coincidence?
I never thought about the killer bees, but I fucking doubt that's a coincidence. There's no way.
You'd be fucking right, is what I'm saying.
Now, what do you say to people that say we're kooks, we're crazy, we don't know what we're talking about? What do you say to those ignorant sheep?
You know what? I feel like sheep is a bad term, man, because it's not their fault they're so fucking ignorant. I mean, I've been spat on, I've been shit on, I have had human fucking feces thrown at me.
We all have it.
Yeah, at Conspiracon fucking 98, happened again in 03, fucking, and that was George Bush right there, if you fucking ask me. But anyways,
it was his shit.
Yeah, yeah. See, he contracted. He got a contract with the Secret Service, and that's how they got his shit fresh from the White House. He took a fucking coffee shit that morning of the fucking Conspiracon, and they fucking threw it at us that day. And I think there was some kind of fucking chemicals in that too, man, because I haven't felt the same since. But anyway, just back on topic. I don't want to get too crazy here, but uh, the people who don't know, they're just people who don't know, man, and we shouldn't be angry at them for that. I mean, we should be pitying.
I mean, we were all there at one point, though. I mean,
yeah,
think
man,
about it.
you gotta start somewhere. Pretty soon,
No one is born awake.
I'm
One
gonna-
one reaches enlightenment through hard work.
Exactly, man. That's what I'm trying to say. I got a blog spot, so I got a Facebook page. You know, I'm trying to open up some people's eyes, you know, and just get people on the same page so we can do something about this.
Yeah. What about Monsanto and Big Pharma?
Yeah, see, I mean, there's really nothing to talk about there. I mean, that's just a fucking monopoly. They're filling our fucking food. They say it's just processed. They say it's just preservatives or whatever, you know, to keep the food
preservatives
fresh longer. But it's more than that, man, because you know the fucking FDA, they're just fucking reptilian heads right there, and so there's no way that shit. I mean, that's why I grow my fresh peyote and I grow my tomatoes, and I got a cow. I've had this cow for about 6 years, and I'm gonna slaughter her pretty soon. And I just do my own shit, man. That's why you got to stay away from that Walmart bullshit.
Yeah, totally. I stay away from that Walmart bullshit all day. I mean, obviously everyone knows there is fluoride in the water. I have my water right here. Unfluoridated, because I don't want them stealing my precious bodily fluids or anything like that. Because that's what they want to do. So, I've been thinking, what if the government has taken the honey? They know something about honey, and they're actually putting honey in the water.
What? I don't. You think they're putting honey in the water?
Yeah.
Well, I feel like they just don't want anything to do with the bees in the first place. If you think about it, man, I feel like that's I don't know, unless it's some kind of like, actually, if you think about it, honey never goes bad. Like, that's a fucking fact. That's
wait.
Right there.
Wait. Monsanto wants seeds that don't go bad. That's what they want most.
Yeah. Well, man, you're really making me think on this one. But
yeah.
I'm
thinking myself.
Yeah. Well, honey never goes bad. Let's start at point A. Honey never goes bad. What do the reptilians want? They want eternal life and control. All right, so you got point A and point Z right there, and you just got to work those other 24 letters in there somehow. And I think they're using the preservatives in the honey that don't make it go bad. And I think they're not trying to get rid of the bees per se. I think they're trying to keep bees away from the public, but have their own swarm of super genetically enhanced bees to themselves. And that way they can produce this honey and somehow kind of make like a holy grail out of it. That, you know, like, so the reptilians can just kind of like bathe in it.
Because
they'll be here forever.
They feed off our suffering and they feed off our precious bodily fluids.
Yeah.
So why would they want us to have bees, eternal life, or internal life, if you think about it, really? Why would they want us to have that? Bees are the fountain of youth, and if we have them, we have the power. So
that's exactly that. I actually, my latest book, Bees and the Reptilian Overlords, and how they're going to end humanity as we know it. That's the full title. You can actually get the ebook, 39 cents on Amazon right now.
Is there a coupon code that you can give our viewers?
Right now, for the next 2.5 years, so it's limited time. You can actually enter the code. I'm just gonna spell it out: JESUS hyphen IS hyphen REPTILAIN hyphen JEW. So if you write down that code, you can actually get the book for free. And I hope there's a lot of people watching this, because I really like to get the words out there. I think it's a really well written book, I was doing, like I said, I was on peyote the whole time I wrote it, so you know it's some real eye-opening shit.
Yeah. That, honestly, I'm super excited that my listeners, my viewers, are going to get this deal because they deserve to know the truth about the bee overlords. Because we're not putting all the blame on the reptilians here. The bees have some of the blame, and the reptilian overlords.
Well, you got the magnificent bee queen, and then I mean the king is just kind of like a subservient to him. He's just there for formality because you can't have a fucking queen without a king. The queen's the one who holds all the power, man. And back in the fucking 50s, she made a deal with fucking FDR. And ever since then, they've been sided with the reptilians. But then, she doesn't have full control over the bees. It's still kind of a democracy in their world too. So it's like
Like a bee-mocracy.
like a beemocracy, exactly. And do you mind if I use that in my next book? By the way, that's a good ass term. Anyways,
just throw me a credit and we're good.
yeah. She, God damn it. She sided with FDR and the reptilians, and it's just been a fucking monopoly of bees and reptilians and fucking controlling the universe. And man, it's just so much shit that we know that we got super cancer and super AIDS that the FDA is they're perfecting those diseases right now, and it's just like we have so much more shit to worry about. And with the little morale and support we have from the general public, I don't know if we're ever going to see some light on all this, but that's what we got to keep fighting for. That's what I live for a purpose like this. So
you got to fight for it. Now we're going to go ahead and play you off. We've got another expert lined up, if that's all right.
Hey, that's fine, man. I love it that you gave me the chance to speak my piece.
Hey, thanks for coming out. It was great talking to you.
Yep.
I think everyone has learned a lot today, and thank you again.
Hey, thank you.
Goodbye. I'm just gonna play a little song in his honor. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna play a little song in his honor. This is his favorite song. Now we're going to call another expert here. Hopefully he picks up. I don't know if he will. I'm very excited for this expert. But if he can't come, I understand.
Hey.
Excuse me, is this Jerry Seinfeld?
No, this is Gary Seinfeld.
Gary Seinfeld.
Jerry is my more successful brother. Right.
Okay, so I'm calling you because I know you have a differing opinion than our last guest, Jerry B. Buzzlawn, who's a man who's written hundreds of books. What have you done, if I may ask?
Hey. I made a documentary. You might have heard it, The Monster of Monsanto. That was me.
Why are you so fucking giggly? Got something to hide, or what?
Yeah. Well. Currently, I'm in the middle of production of my next movie, The Monster of Monsanto 2. Monsanto Strikes Back. Don't tell. But I want to bring forward my opinion that the farmer was a fucking liar, and it wasn't Richard Nixon or Neil Armstrong or Buzz Aldrin or Buzz Lightyear that fucking brought the bees to the earth. I want to say it's Monsanto, before Monsanto, if you even heard of a bee. Thought not. I believe that
I
Monsanto
I think
created.
I think bees have been around a lot longer than Monsanto.
I think that you are being brainwashed. Okay.
I'm being brainwashed.
Exactly. Is
Ah,
that
bzz, bzz.
is that a coincidence? I don't believe in coincidences. Okay. Is it a coincidence that my favorite actress is born on the same day as me? No. Eva Longoria, you will be my wife. Well, as I was saying, Monsanto made the bees in a chemical accident. They were trying to make a new way to make shredded wheat, but
So it
they
was kind of
accidentally,
like Danny Phantom, right?
kind of, except from there's not many fan fictions written about bees, and those Phantom
Okay,
fan fictions are
here's the
pretty.
thing. All our listeners, all our viewers, we urge you. Now, I agree with you on this subject, but not all of them, to write more bee fan fiction. They can be bee Naruto, it can be bee Shrek. I don't really care. I just want to jack off to it. Your thoughts?
I feel like I read one bee fanfiction before, and it was the only one on fanfiction.net. My favorite website is my homepage. You can check out some of my fanfictions. I go underneath the name of not Jerry Seinfeld, and I also go underneath the name of Gary Seinfeld. Sometimes I like to write about that things, like have you ever heard
Let's
of
get back on
Gary
topic, okay? Let's get back on topic. I don't really want to talk about your personal life so much because I want to talk about the bees because that's what I fucking. Sorry. 3, 2, 1, 0, 1, 0. Sorry. Because that's why I emailed you in the first place to conduct this interview about bees, not your personal fan fiction websites.
and I'm very glad that you did email me. So
So, what are your qualifications, so to speak?
I worked at MIT for 15 years as a software developer. You may have known me underneath the name of Richard Stallman. I'm kind of a nerd, but from there, I then started reading into the bees and reading into how the bees were genetically created, and it just sparked inside of me, and I opened up all of my eyes and saw what other sheeple do not see.
So,
I
what do you
saw.
think? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm,
It's
I'm
okay.
butting in because it's my show, okay?
It's
Listen,
okay.
listen, I'm not paying you, but I'm getting paid. Let me just remind you of that. Um, so, what do you think is the cause of the disappearance of the bees? The bees. The bees.
I believe that the bees, as they were created by Monsanto, they are also going to be destroyed by Monsanto in a way to make up for their crimes against humanity. I believe that deep down inside, Monsanto are a good company that do not wish to bring harm to anyone, especially African children. I believe
Are
that
you being
Monsanto.
sarcastic right now?
I would never be sarcastic about my life work. Why would I have sarcasm in my life when this is what I do for a living? Sir, if you're just going to mock me, I'm going to end this interview right now.
Well, I just don't understand why you think Monsanto's good company. Could you tell me?
Well, they have done their bad in the past, like BP. BP, British
BP?
Petroleum. Yes.
Bumbling Petroleum?
And they changed their name in the 2000s to BPPLC. All of those words rhyme with B. Is that a coincidence? I think not.
Yeah, I don't think so. What about, wow, I really at a loss for words here. Um, I never thought of it that way. I never even thought about BP. What about the oil spill? Do you think that had anything to do with the bees?
I believe that BP and Monsanto were working together on a project to eliminate the bees once and for all. Because, as science has shown, bees do not contribute anything to the world. All they do is sting people and hurt them, and sometimes kill them if they're allergic to bees. These people, I must add, have all been born after the creation of bees.
Yeah,
Is
they've
that a
all been
coincidence?
born. It's
Exactly.
it's probably not, if we're honest here.
And I'd like to say to my farmer,
Uh huh.
Richard Nixon did a lot of bad things to a lot of bad people, but he would never bring the idea of a jet going around the map, letting go of chemtrails, because after all, he was an equalist and he believed in the rights of every straight white American male. So why would he stop
Excuse
straight
me.
white American males?
Excuse me, sir.
Thank you.
If I may ask, where are you from? Your accent does not sound American to me.
I'm from the small island of Tasmania, just off the coast of Costa Rica, which is just off the coast of Australia. So, it just a geography lesson for you guys out there.
Then tell me, Mr. Fucking, what's your nationality? Australian?
Australian, I will identify it as Australian. I'm actually Tasmanian, but I'm also trans Australian. So,
Okay, so tell me, with all your big boy knowledge and all that, what the fuck do you know about an American president?
well, you see, you're speaking as if there are no such things as fucking books, and I've cracked a fucking book before. So please
don't-
understand this.
Have you
when
ever?
I'm-
Hey, how
please do
many?
not-
How
please do
many
not-
Jerry B. Buslon books have you read?
I have read 4 of his 5 published books, and I have read 17 of his unpublished books, okay? I know all about this man. This man is my idol, and he is the reason I got into the bee genetic scandal. Okay?
It's why you got into the business, right?
The business? Are you trying to make a joke out of the word bee being in business?
No,
I don't find that very funny, okay?
it's not a joke. It's just kind of a way of life. It's my accent, sir. I'm sorry.
Well, I cannot accept that because you are not speaking like a straight, proud, white American male, okay? You're speaking like one of those goddamn homosexuals, okay? And that is why Monsanto made the fucking bees in the first place. They were
No,
literally
that's why they made AIDS, you idiot.
No, the bees made AIDS. It was a fucking chemical chain. Read a fucking book.
I am done. Listen, Are you all listening, viewers? I am done with these bullshit claims by these bullshit people. Jerry B. Buslon is the smartest man there is or there ever was, okay? And this fucking Tasmanian devil comes up and tells me that my idol, Jerry B. Buslon, is not true and he's a false prophet. Well, there's no way I can believe that. I want to thank you all for watching, and I want you to have a great day.